Hello and welcome to Anthropology class. My name is Dr. Huma Hassan and today we are going to have a discussion on some basic concepts for social cultural anthropology. Before having discussion that why these basic concepts needs to be understood and how they are helpful to cover up our social cultural part in paper 1, also in paper 2, let's see basic concepts usage in our anthropology syllabus. So this is on your screen a syllabus of anthropology, and if I bring it on 2.1, so this is 2.1. The nature of culture, the nature of society, marriage, family, kinship, economic organization, political organization, religion, anthropological. So this is not a section paper 2, but this comes in section papers 2. I have divided my syllabus that what are the concepts which we study in paper 1 that helps also in paper 2. So for anthropological theories, culture, language and communication, research methods in anthropology, fieldwork tradition in anthropology, and also if we'll simply come to this part, concept of human growth and development that deals with population and society, an entire paper 2 with respect to Indian society. Now friends, I like to bring in your notice that whensoever we need to have comprehensive clarity to debunk anthropology syllabus, as in the previous lectures I have already explained that how we have to divide anthropology syllabus between two major sections. One, physical anthropology, and other one is social sciences. Aspirants who are coming from science background and also social science background often find these topics related to marriage, economy or social organizations, social stratification, religion, all these social cultural concepts quite familiar and easy. The reason is that they find common usage in their day-to-day lives. For instance, when we talk about marriage, we do have some commonsensical understanding for the concept of marriage. Also, with the concepts like the structure and nature of traditional Indian social system, we already have some basic understanding. That goes for caste system in India too, Jajmani system, tribe caste continuum, how different religion is dominating in Indian society, who are minorities, who are linguistic minorities, what type of races we have in Indian society. That is why generally most of the aspirants believe that in anthropology social cultural part is quite easy and that does not require lot of you can say that lot of strategies to cover, because it is already a part of our common sense understanding. However, it will not be incorrect to say that our basic understanding which comes from our social experiences does really help us to understand these concepts at initial level. But we need to have conceptual understanding with respect to its subject matter. Social cultural anthropology covers 70% of anthro syllabus, be it paper 1 and in paper 2. As compared to physical anthropology, which is in static in nature, that covers 30% and that requires factual information. So if we keep this point in our mind that social cultural anthropology covers our 70% of our syllabus, then it makes our, I would say, responsibility to have basic epistemological root understanding of the concepts of social sciences. As I said, not only from social science background who read these topics find really easy, it goes with science students as well. On the face of it, reality is that to understand these institutions, these sociological concepts requires deep understanding of social sciences concepts. That is why I always recommend to my aspirants that when you start your syllabus, particularly from 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 in paper 1, which deals with nature of society, what is the difference between culture, what is ethnocentrism, cultural relativism, what is social stratification, what is social institutions, how are social inequalities persist in different societies. Also, when we are understanding marriage, family, kinship, how they are cultural universals and how they are diverse from one region to another region. Why do we have religion? What is the basic functions of religion? What is the functions of marriage? What is the function of family? How do we create kinship? Why do we have rules and regulations, marriage rules and regulation, which are often called as preferential marriages, prescribed rules or prescriptive rules? What is incest taboo? These are theoretical concepts. That is not really easy when we see the syllabus and we get this picture that okay, these are the points or areas where we do have some understanding and it will be quite easy to comprehend. As I said that yes, that basic information is required, but then we need to understand from the lens of theoretical understanding. That is why in today's lecture I am going to explain the basic differences. It is going to be really helpful for all of you if you have sociological base. Once you have a sociological base and you understand different concepts, all these syllabus which I have already explained will be very easy to capture. And then you will see that the questions which comes in UPSC, they are not direct. For instance, you are not going to be asked that what is social institutions, but UPSC can do anything. It may ask as well. Alright, so I think I have given a relevant information that why do we need to have some basic base before we begin to understand this particular portion in paper 1 and for entire paper 2. So let's start our lecture now. So this is Anthropology, Social Cultural, some basic concepts. Guys, do you know there is a difference between society and the difference between community, association, how they are different? What do you mean by society? Society, if I'll explain on my teaching board, you will see that the term society is used in both manner, that is abstract, also in concrete manner. So how you will see in abstract manner when we talk about human society, Indian society, Western society, or any other society. That is abstract usage of the term society. When we use in concrete manner, we may say Asiatic society, we may say Hindu society, sometime in our colleges and university we create a group and that also called as society. Okay, so that's mean society is used in both ways. But what is society? Society is derived from a Latin word. Generally, lot of words has been started or derived from Greek, Greece and Latin. Alright, so society means socius, which means companionship or friendship. Okay, do understand this and keep in your mind that we need to have conceptual understanding. We are not going to be asked in anthropology, so far as the analysis of UPSC paper we have done, you are not being asked that what is society, but you need to understand the differences between this common usage. Sometimes we call community as a society, but there is a difference between society and community. Sometimes we say association and community is the same thing, but it is not. What is social institutions? What is social structures? If we have good understanding, then only we can have good hold on social cultural anthropology. So right now I'm not going to have a discussion that why human beings are social. It is being understood and it is a very established fact that men lives in a companionship. We live in a companionship. We are a social animal. We do have biological, social, psychological, emotional needs, and when we come together in a group to satisfy our economical needs, our basic needs to have food, and this need has always been evolving from society to society. When we were hunter and gatherers, we came as a group so that we can do hunting and gathering together, and then we can survive. And this procedure goes on from Paleolithic society to horticulturalist. When we become horticulturalist, when we become feudal society, agricultural society and modern society, it is a society. So society means that we as individuals form a group and then we satisfy our basic and different needs. Quickly I am going to explain the demarcation between the common terms. Let's just understand what is the characteristics of society. Society consists of people. There is mutual interaction and mutual awareness. Society depends on likeness. Society rests on differences too. Cooperation, division of labor. Society implies interdependence also. Society is dynamic. That means society is always evolving. There is social control and we do have culture. I want to explain community and the difference between society and community. So guys, this is a chart where you can understand how society and community is different. society is defined as a web of social relationship, where in community we have a stronger we feelings. We feel identified as a common group in which we have a stronger connections. All right. So let me explain you that we live in human society, but in human society I do not relate with everyone. I would definitely have some emotional connection and we feeling when I would relate myself as a part of Indian society. This feeling will further get more stronger when I would compare myself as a part of Hindu society, and also it will become more and more stronger, especially in my case when I will consider myself as a woman community, as a part of a woman community. So when I am associating myself with some ideology and the commonness, it's like, you know, that group, that size of the society gets smaller and we make a community. So we can say that in society several communities exist, and the major difference between society and community, society is an abstract concept in which we may have we feeling and we may not have feelings, but in community we do have this stronger we feeling. So this is our point 1. In society we do have definite geographical area, but it is not an essential aspect of our society. But in community we need to define our geographical locality. Alright, so society is abstract and community is concrete. In society, community sentiment or sense of well feeling, as I said, it may present or it may absent, but in community we do have. Society is wider, community is smaller. The objective and interest of society are more extensive and varied. In community, the objectives and interest of a community are comparatively less extensive and varied. Society involves likeness and differences. Likeness is a very important factor in community. I hope now you understand the basic difference between community and society. Every state or nation is a society. We are human society, and then this further society get specified. So let me explain you through a Venn diagram. Let's just say this is a society. Okay, within society we will have community. This is a community. This community further have association. This association is voluntary. Like community and society is given to us by birth. For instance, if I born in Indian society, I am a part of Indian society, I am a citizen of Indian society. If I am born in Hindu community, I am a part of Hindu community by birth. But in association, we voluntarily take part in some group, or we associate ourselves with associations. And within this community, we have different social groups. So society comprises of social groups. What is groups? It's collections of individuals. It's collection of individuals. Okay, so let's come back to our PPT and let me give you some more clarity. So these are the definitions of association. I may give a PDF on that, so you can read from there. I'll explain the difference between association and community, and by doing that it will become more clear to you. Let me have first of all the characteristic of association. Association is a human group, common interest or interest is there, cooperative spirit is there, organization, regulation of relations, association as agencies, and durability of association. In the previous lecture, in the previous slide, we have seen what is community. Association is voluntary. Individuals are at liberty to join them. So if I want, I will join. If I do not want, I will not join. An association has some specific interest or interests. Let's just say I become a part of some women organization. So there is an association which works for the upliftment of vulnerable sections of our society, and in that we focus on women strata. So I may join that association or I may not join that association. So preference is on me. An association does not necessarily imply the spatial aspects. Association may be stable, long-lasting, and may not be so. Association have their legal status. They have their own rules and regulation. Association is partial and it may be regarded as a part of the community. Now, what is institution? Let me explain to you. This is, let's just say, is our society. Society is also referred as social system. This society or social system are based on the interaction between different social institutions. Like when we are born, we are a part of a family. Because of our family, we are introduced to a religion. So religion institution, alright. Then we are also a part of marriage institution, marriage family, okay. Then we know about economy, so economical institutions and political institution. So how human beings participates and interacts with these institutions. So social institutions can be referred as our interaction process that is there in our society, okay, and these social institutions are regarded as a parts of the system. So these social institution is like a system. Why? These parts creates a social system. It means that if we have a problem in political institutions, it will have ripple effect on economical institution, family, religion, marriage and other sub parts of the social institutions. We know already that if the economical situation of our country is not stable, then definitely it's going to have higher and very serious impact on us, be it on our family, be it on our day-to-day lives. It's going to have impact on our political lives as well. So that is the one thing which is there, which we need to understand, that it is like a system, all right. And for maintaining of entire society, we requires all these different parts to work. And if there is a problem in any parts of the social institution, it's going to influence and impact other parts of the social institutions as a part of social system. Alright, so these are some of the definitions. I'll quickly bring the functions of the institution is there. Let me just show you the table where I have explained institutions. Alright. So it is there in your screen. I hope you are able to see it. So institution refers to the organized way of doing things. It represents common procedure. Institutions denotes only a mode or means of service. We do not belong to institution. We do not belong to marriage, property, education or law. We participate in these institutions. Institutions consist of laws, rules and regulations. Institutions are abstract. Institution does not have locations. If you want to know that where marriage locate in our society, where religion or family locate in our society, we probably cannot say. Of course, they do not have any locations. So the question where it is make no sense at all. We cannot locate examination, education, marriage or any such institution. We can experience them. So institutions are primarily evolved. Institution does not possess specific names but has a structure and have a symbol. And institutions are relatively durable. As I said about social system is a phenomena which tells us that how we are integrated as a whole. So when we born in a family, we are not only born in a family, we are also a member of larger society. That is why society is referred as social system. So again, I am going to explain social system to you in a very precise manner. I like to remind you that we need to understand these concepts for our better understanding so that we can do justice with our concepts and the syllabus given to us. What is culture? How culture is different from ethnocentrism? What is ethnocentrism? What is cultural relativism? What is social stratification, which I have discussed in the beginning of the lecture. All these concepts only makes sense to us when we know what are them. What are they? So this is social system. And I will explain this here. So we have some basic characteristics of social system, and now we have social actions. So we can say that social system comprises of different social groups, and these systems have a consciousness, and also this social system comprises of different organizations. Okay. So why do we have this social system? Why do we need social system? Why do we need society? We need society so that we can have rules and regulation, we can have social control over the members of its society, of its social system, right? So that is the one thing which we do have to understand. Alright, so today I have explained some of the basic concepts. For example, right now we have these groups. So groups are social systems, as I said, in which participants are conscious of their memberships in that system. They are also aware of the boundaries of groups. Now, let's just say what is social action. Social action is different from individual action. Social action defines a holistic action of a group. So for instance, if I am particularly involved in some sort of activities, it cannot be called as social action. Whereas if I am doing some activities as a part of a social group where all other members are also doing that activities with some strong ideology, that action becomes social action. For instance, marriage is a great example of collective social action. So, religion as a social institution tells and aims something. It has particular function, I would say. So, religion has a particular functions that whenever social groups, human beings feel stressful, they are in stress, they want some mechanism that can help them to come out of that situation. So they seek some supernatural power to resolve their problems. In order to interact in the institution of religion, we act, we do an activity, and that action orients and derived from some ideology. An ideology is that we need some supernatural power that can save us from any negative events. Alright, so in that manner, we are worshipping, let's just say, some nature gods like sun, moon. So that action is derived out of some ideology, and we are doing it collectively. Religiously, we are doing it with a faith in it. So that makes social actions. These social actions also being considered as facts by Emile Durkheim. Max Weber is another social cultural anthropologist who has defined social action in a very comprehensive manner, and with the help of social action, he has explained that how capitalism flourished in 18th-19th century. So this is the basic difference of social actions and between other sociological concepts. So today I am going to speak only on this part, and next time I may come up with some more basic concepts of social cultural anthropology so that you can have good hold over social cultural part of your syllabus. Keep liking my channel, and if you have any query, you can write in the chat section. Thank you so much.